What's going on, y'all? My name is Spice. This is Spice Can't Fish. Today, we got Soft Plastic Showdown episode 12 coming at you. So today's Soft Plastic Showdown is going to be a little bit different than the rest of them. Usually I have like a theme, like I'll do drop shot baits or craws or something like that. But today we just have a bunch of just random lures that I found laying around and thought it'd be fun to throw them all together in a video. We're mostly going to be going over beaver baits today. I also found a lizard that I wanted to look at, as well as like a brush hog style lure. So we're going to be taking a look at all of those today. But before we get too far in the video, I just wanted to say I appreciate y'all for watching, and if you could please hit that like button on the video. Just let me know that you like the content, as well as hitting that subscribe button if you want to see some more. I would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button especially. I'm just trying to grow my channel right now, so every subscriber really helps me out. But enough of me plugging myself, let's get into the video. First, we're going to look at some underwater footage, and then we're going to go look at each of the lures in a little bit more detail and talk about, you know, some of the specs on them. So the price, the quantity that you get per pack, stuff like that. And then we're going to end up rating them at the end of the video as well. So if you're interested in sticking around and seeing the rating, then please stick around and wait and watch the entire video. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so now that we've seen these lures underwater, we're just going to go into some of the specs on them and kind of talk about what makes one lure better than another. So we're going to start off with the Zoom Lizard, the 6-inch size. This color that we looked at again today was black with a blue tail. So for the color selection for the Zoom Lizard, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3. These come in 39 different colors, so that's actually the most amount of colors that we looked at today. So definitely going to give it a 3 out of 3 for that one. For the quantity per pack, I'm going to give this lure a 3 out of 3 as well. They come in 9 per pack for the 6-inch, and then I think they come in like 15 per pack if you wanted to get the 4-inch. But since we're just looking at the 6-inch, we're just going to use the 6-inch for today. So 9 per pack is definitely more than you would get for like your average soft plastic style lure. So I'm going to say that this definitely is a 3 out of 3 for the quantity. For the action of this lure, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3. The tails and legs all had a ton of action and kicking as they went through the water, and As far as I know, the Zoom 6-inch lizard is pretty much the industry standard when it comes to lizards. So when you're comparing a different lizard bait to like see if it works or not, usually this is like the standard that you're comparing it to. So you know, I guess it just has average action for a lizard. It's nothing, you know, mind blowing, but it definitely would work. It definitely has a ton of action. So 2 out of 3 for sure for that one. For the price, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3 as well. At $2.99 per pack, this is the cheapest option, or most budget-friendly option, I should say, out of all the soft plastics that we looked at today. Pretty much all of the Zoom soft plastics are going to be pretty good if you're looking to not spend a lot of money and you just want like some stuff for to get you by if you're on a budget or something. They're pretty solid with regard to the price. And then for the other category, I'm going to give it a 1 for the scent, 1 for salt, and a 1 for quality of plastic, because it definitely has scent, salt, and I do believe they're made out of quality plastic. So that's going to bring the total score for the Zoom 6-inch lizard to a 14 out of the possible 15 points. Second up, we have the Smart Baits Brainy Bugger. The color that we looked at today is pearl to blue on the top, and then chartreuse to blood red on the bottom. So with the Smart Bait lures, they actually change color depending on the temperature of the lure. So that's why I don't have just one specific color name for you, but you'll be able to find it if you want to go look at their website. So for the color selection, I'm going to give this one a 1 out of 3. It only comes in 4 color options, which isn't a lot. I personally just think that they would come in a few more colors, and I don't know, 4 colors isn't a lot for any sort of soft plastic, so definitely a 1 out of 3 for that. For the quantity per pack, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 3. This lure comes in an 8-pack, which is on the higher end of the amount of soft plastics that you would get in like a general pack of soft plastics. Usually they're around like that 6 to 8 mark, so anywhere like 8 and above, I'm going to give it 3 out of 3. For the action of this one, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 3. The tails didn't move hardly at all, which isn't very surprising considering it's a beaver style lure and they're not really made for action. But it also didn't have a very large profile in the water, and I just feel like when you're looking to use a beaver bait, you kind of want something with a little bit bigger, bulkier profile, and this just didn't have that either, so I'm going to give that a 1 out of 3 for the action. For price on this lure, I'm also going to give this a 1 out of 3, because at $7.99 per pack, this is by far the most expensive lure that we looked at. All the Smart Bait lures tend to be really expensive. I don't know if it's just the color changing plastic or what it is, but they're all very expensive, so if you're trying to be a budget angler or not spend a lot of money, I wouldn't suggest going the Smart Baits route. And then for the other category, I'm going to give it a 0 for scent, a 0 for salt, and a 1 for quality plastic, because as far as I can tell, it didn't have any salt or scent on it, but it was definitely made out of a quality plastic, so I'll give it a 1 out of 3 for that. So that's going to bring the total points for the Smart Baits Brainy Bugger up to a 7 out of the possible 15. Third up, we had the Riot Baits Fuzzy Beaver. For the color selection of this one, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3. The Fuzzy Beaver comes in 10 colors, which is more than enough to get you through the day, I would say. Whether you're trying to imitate a bluegill or a brim, a shad, they seem to have pretty much whatever color that you would possibly want. They have colors that work in all water clarities as well, so I don't know. I think that these, they definitely have enough colors to get you by. For the quantity per pack for this lure, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3. It comes with 7 per pack, which is kind of right around that middle of the road average number for how many soft plastics you get per pack of lures. So I'm just going to give it a 2 out of 3 for that reason. For the action of this lure, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3 as well. The claws on this one actually moved a bit more than I thought they were going to. Of course, it's not going to have a ton of action because it is a beaver bait. They're not designed to have a lot of action. But they definitely gave off like a subtle kicking as they fell through the water. So it's definitely more action than like a normal beaver would have. It doesn't necessarily blow me out of the water, but it's definitely what I would consider good enough action. So 2 out of 3 for that one as well. For the price for the Riot Baits Fuzzy Beaver, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 3. This lure comes in at $4.79 per pack, which is a little bit on the high side for a soft plastic. So I'm going to give it a little bit less than average rating. And then for the other category, I'm going to give this lure a 1 for scent, a 1 for salt, and a 1 for quality plastic. Because as far as I could tell, it had all 3 of those. So that's going to bring the other category to a 3 out of 3, and the total for the fuzzy beaver to be an 11 out of possible 15 points. Fourth up on our list is going to be the Realtree Fishing Lures Classic Craw. The color that we looked at today was peanut butter and jelly. For the color selection of this lure, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 3. This lure only comes in 5 colors, which isn't really enough to get you through whether you're trying to fish clean or dirty water, in my opinion. I feel like you should probably have a few more colors just to, fill a few more niches. So yeah, I'm just going to rate this one a 1 out of 3 for color. For the quantity per pack, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3. This lure comes in a 6-pack, which is a little bit on the lower end for the amount per pack that you would get in an average soft plastic, but it's still right around that average number of like 6 to 8. So we'll give it an average score for the quantity per pack. For price per pack, we're going to give it a 1 out of 3 because at $4.99, this is kind of on the higher end of the average price. For a pack of soft plastics, usually you pay between like $2 and $4, so anything more than that we're just going to say is a little bit too expensive. So 1 out of 3 for the price. For the action of this lure, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3. Similar to the fuzzy beaver, it had a subtle kicking action from the appendages. It wasn't overpowering like I would usually look for with a craw, but it definitely would do the job if you're looking to just have like an average beaver bait. I think it would be a good option. And then for the other category, I'm going to give it a yes for scent, a no for salt, and a yes for quality plastic, because it doesn't seem to have any salt in it, but they're definitely scented and they definitely do come made out of some quality plastic. So that's going to bring the total for the Realtree Fishing Lures Classic Craw to an 8 out of the possible 15. And last but not least, we have the Big Bite Baits 6-inch Creature Bait. This color that we looked at today is tilapia. It's kind of like just a blue craw kind of color. So for the color selection for this lure, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3. This lure comes in 28 colors, which is definitely more than enough to get you through. For the quantity per pack, I'm going to give this lure a 3 out of 3. This lure comes in 8 per pack, which is again on the higher end of what you usually get for a pack of soft plastics, so we're just going to include it as a 3 out of 3. For the price of this lure, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3. At $3.99, it's right around the middle of the road area for a pack of soft plastics. And I think the Big Bite Baits soft plastics are pretty reasonably priced. They're usually around that $2 to $4 mark. So you can usually find them for a decent price. For the action of this lure, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3. While it did have a decent amount of kick with those big long appendages, I didn't really notice any difference in action from this one as opposed to like just your normal brush hog style lure. So while they aren't bad necessarily, there's nothing that shines or stands out about them to me. So I'm just going to give them an average action, so 2 out of 3 for the action. And then finally for the other category, I'm going to give this a yes for scent, a yes for salt, and a yes for quality plastic, because I do believe they're made with all 3 of those. So that's going to bring the Big Bite Baits Creature to a total of 13 out of the possible 15 points. Alright y'all, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please again hit that like button to let me know that you enjoyed the content, as well as hitting that subscribe button down below. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, and if you want to see some more content like this, then this would be the way to do it. Last but not least, leave me a comment down below. Let me know which one of these was your favorite out of all the ones that we looked at today, and why. Personally for me, I would have to say probably the fuzzy beaver would probably be mine, just because of the subtle kicking action. I think it would be a good jig trailer, or a good craw, or a good flipping bait. Just, I don't know, I like that one a lot. But let me know yours down in the description and why. And on that note, I'm probably going to head out of here, y'all. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tight lines, I'm out. Peace!